Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus blue moon for the month of May tarot oracle reading. And Leo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not in Leo, we all have a little bit of Leo in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, what house is Leo in? That's where this information is most likely to show up for you. This is a timely reading, so be aware if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. I apologize for the erratic schedule with these readings. I had serious noisy construction around here lately, and today it was just impossible to do anything until now. So I'm a little bit late in my schedule. Anyway, we have the Fool here, and the Fool is talking about the energy of the entire reading. And this card's been coming up a lot for a lot of the readings. It's time for a new cycle, new change, new energy. Woohoo! The Fool is on a new cycle, and this is a leap of faith. He doesn't even care if he's watching where he's going, but I'm sure this little dog of his will alert him to the fact that he's almost walking off a cliff. And he has very little baggage, but you can see his sleeves are tattered, and this represents, this isn't the first cycle he's been on, and he is just completed a cycle and is on a new one. The sun is behind him. The sun is white, showing that this is starting off in like with a clean slate, but taking the information that you've learned from the other cycles you've been on and applying it to this cycle. And then we have the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. And this is for the underlying, it's the underlying energy for the internal forces. That's this part of the reading, is talking about what you have control over, your internal forces. And this is the from the bottom of the deck, the card that is the underlying energy for that. The internal forces, you'll know it's an internal force because the question will be, what if I do this and they do that? Or what if they do that and I have to do this? It's the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life. And we have some information coming in here, or some communication. This is talking about the pentacle energy. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And this energy, of course, it's in the shape of a coin here, because money is a big part of our ability to enjoy life in the 3D. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world, and if you don't have your health or love in your life, you're not going to be living your ultimate lifestyle. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is one of four knights. He is the slowest knight in all of them. He can be, he can have a board meeting with himself just to brush his teeth. Sometimes it's very frustrating waiting for the information to come in from the Knight of Pentacles. But the good news is when it does come in, it's something that has been well researched, and that's the energy that this is saying. If you, especially when it comes to finances, it's good to do your background checks. It's good to consult with experts, especially if you're taking a significant undertaking. And so this is talking about communication or information that is needed maybe to start a project or has to do with business, that type of energy. So, in the old days, this would always be the only form of long distance communication, was traveling by horse or camel or whatever, however they got around to deliver it. But these days we have so many ways of communicating. So this, it doesn't have to be something in person for you to know it's from the night. This could be a phone call, a text message. It could be, something that comes in the mail. It could be a package, documents. Also, maybe an email comes through. This can also represent the energy of, being online and someone messages you, or perhaps you go to an event that you see online, and when you're there, you meet someone that has the perfect information for you. Also, if you're looking to gather information, it's always a good idea to take like even 5 minutes a day just to find out, as painful as it is, what's going on in the news at the top of the pyramid. Like, what are the leaders of the countries doing? What are the, influencers? What's happening up there? Because whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid, as above, so below, it's going to have an effect to varying degrees on different people. And so the Taurus energy rules the pentacle energy. You know, the pentacles represent the element of earth. And this moon that we have right now, or the new moon that we just had, was in Taurus, and now the blue moon coming in is in Sagittarius. So the Sagittarius energy with the blue moon, a blue moon is actually when there's 2 full moons in one season, like in 1 month. And this only happens about every 2.5 to 3 years. So it's kind of a rare event, and it's special. Now, don't expect the moon to be blue. Sometimes the moon is blue in color, but that's generally because a volcano erupted. Or there's a lot of fire nearby, and it blocks out the red UV rays and light rays, and causes the moon to look blue from planet Earth. So this is more talking about the energy of 2 full moons in 1 month. So if you've been looking for my new moon reading, I didn't do a new moon reading because I only have room for 2 moon readings in 1 month. But this is this full moon is the blue moon reading. Because it's such a rare event, I wanted to make sure that I explained it. This blue moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. It's all about expansion, wanting to move forward. Now, across the wheel from Sagittarius is the Gemini energy. And the Gemini energy is, you know, whatever sign is opposite you in the wheel, the horoscope wheel, whatever's happening to one sign really affects the other, and they're quite often a little bit contradictory. So the Sagittarius energy that the moon is in is saying, I want to expand. It's all about higher learning. Sagittarius is loving adventure and wanting to go to new cultures, new projects, like, you know, that type of energy. And they love knowledge, even just for the sake of it. Gemini energy is more about, you know, using the logical mind, and Gemini can adapt to change very quickly when it comes to being in one mental state or another. Sometimes they're accused of being 2 people, but it's really because their mind is so fast, and they have learned to adapt to that. They have a thought coming in every second. Like, it's very you know, and so a lot of good ideas. Now for Gemini, it's picking which one is the best one to act upon. So this energy of this full moon is a really good one for personal growth, for gathering information if you're starting a new business endeavor, or just, you know, moving somewhere, wanting, or even going on a holiday. Whatever it is this is a great time to do some research and figure out what's going on, you know, making sure that you have things done properly. And, you know, really this energy is about exploring. Like, Sagittarius wants to explore, and Gemini energy wants to make sure that, like, in that Gemini is more like local. If you know, it's like an energy of, I like where I'm at. I don't want to change. My mind is changing all the time anyway. It's that type of energy. So the Sagittarius energy, because you're a Leo and you're also a fire sign, you probably lean towards the Sagittarius energy. And the Leo energy is natural born leaders, but it's, if you think about, it's number 5 on the wheel of the horoscope. So this is, think about adolescent boys energy, you know, teenage boys basically. Not adolescent, more like teenagers up to the age of 18, 19. And they can be very impulsive, and sometimes they can come off as being very arrogant when they lack confidence, because they're natural born leaders, and so they quite often will lead when maybe they are not quite mature enough to step into that power. So it's that type of energy. And of course, Leo is ruled by the sun. So this is really the energy that we're in right now is this Sagittarius moon. The blue moon was a great time to really look at yourself and recognize, like, how rare you really are, just like the blue moon. And, you know, they say once in a blue moon, and there's only one of you. And then we have the star. So this is how you feel. You know that you're meant to shine. You know you're a star. You're a Leo. And you're pouring your energy into the universal pool here. And you've got your left leg grounded on earth. And so this is representing pouring this energy into the earth. And after adding your own special talent, flavor to it. And there's 5 streams here, and that represents the 5 points of the Pentacles. So this is talking about improving this is how you feel about yourself right now, your self-image, and it's also about wanting to improve your lifestyle. And then look at this, in the abundance, you have the sun and this is the sun rules Leo. And this represents God's energy, and this is saying you are a child of God and you are meant to shine. There's no doubt about that. This is you in your natural state. You are like this child's on the pony, totally fearless, carrying this heavy banner that represents your destiny. No fear whatsoever. And look at all the sunflowers. They're also happy, and they're turning with the sun, to face the sun. And this is talking about you being on your destined path and having all the abundance at your disposal. And then we have some more sunshine coming through. And this is talking about perhaps you have a new lover coming in. And this is ordained by God. This is a happy, again, the sun showing here, and the angel is delivering this person. They're collaborating with the universe to bring a destined partner in. Someone that is a divine partner that will really, you'll benefit each other a lot and enjoy each other's company a lot. And the cloud in between represents an energy of, this is someone that you may not know, or if you do know them, you haven't seen them in a long time. It's that type of energy. But it wouldn't be someone that you've already had a relationship with. And then so this is talking about your early communication. So sometimes this card also, if you're not looking for love, and that's not but you're looking for a better lifestyle for sure. This is about maybe the masculine and feminine coming together in you. But this is also, in the early days when the tarot came out, the Lover's card was more about choosing the people that you have in your life, period. So it doesn't have to be someone that is a significant other. It could be a significant other in business, or a significant other that you just like to have as a friend, or a significant other like a child or something like that. But quite often it does represent a lover. And then we have this energy of the Page of Pentacles. So this is interesting, because the Page of Pentacles is basically a younger version of the Knight of Pentacles. So when this card comes in, it may be saying that this is someone that you've known. So the pages would be, they would work for the king and queen at a very young age. And then if they were, like when they became an adult at 21, if they could afford to buy their own horse, they might be considered for knighthood. And it would be a real coup to be able to be working for the king and queen. You have to remember, back in those days, the life expectancy was about half of what it is now. So when you were 7 to 14, you were, by 14, you only had about 25 years to go, basically, on a good day. So this is, the energy is talking about, and by 14, a lot of people were married, not a lot, but a good portion were, and already, out on their own. So this is talking about that energy, but it can be talking about someone, it doesn't necessarily mean someone that age is delivering the message to you, but it could mean that it's someone that you knew from when you were in elementary or high school, or it's someone that you knew in college, that kind of around that time frame. And maybe, so you may know of this person, but you haven't seen them for a while. And that's kind of what the cloud represents. So of course the pages would be delivering the message in the same way that the knight would. And this represents someone that has worked for the king and queen for probably a good 20 years by now. That type, that's been on the same career path for an extended time. And we have some heartbreak coming in here. This energy is talking about, there's 3 swords in the heart, so that's not good. But when you look again, you realize, wait a minute, that heart is quite big for the size of the swords. So these could be more like nails or pins. Still not good, but it may be something that you could, be able to recover from. And so you notice the heart is in the throat. Sometimes this can represent not feeling like it's safe to speak your truth. Sometimes this can represent a third-party involvement in a romantic couple. It can also represent the energy of gossip, slander, harsh words being spoken, sometimes perjury in court, that type of energy. So, and the swords in tarot represent the element of air, and this is about your thoughts and other people's thoughts. And so this, the swords are your mental intelligence and your discipline of your mind. And it can also represent that you have a heartbreaking decision that needs to be made. And it could require an apology or forgiveness on your part or the other person's part. And this is in your how you view your home life right now. And so this information is coming in about how to improve your lifestyle now is the energy I'm picking up. And maybe this person coming through, of course, if they're a divine partner, they will improve that greatly. And then maybe in the past you've been through some sort of heartache. There could have been some cheating or that type of energy. This is talking about healing, needing to heal from that energy to be able to move forward and get out of this energy here. So this is talking about how you feel right now about your daily routines, your habits, and your health, basically. You feel like you've only got 5 pentacles between 2 people. This could be you feeling alone, like that you only have yourself, if that makes any sense. This person's on crutches and they have this plague bell on their neck. So the plague bell, in the old days, they didn't have apps to isolate people during plagues. So they would hang a bell and force the person to wear it, and it would be very loud. So when they came into town, everybody could hear them and get out of their way before they came near, which would kind of make it difficult for them to get a job or, participate in social activity. This energy is talking about tactics being used to put someone in this position. The only other person they have companionship is barefoot in the snow. This is talking like they have 5 pentacle energy between them, if they have that, and it's not enough. Like there's 10 pentacles available and they don't even have half of that. So this is talking about being left out in the cold, feeling isolated, that type of energy. And it can also represent an energy of tactics being used against you to put you in this energy. So this is can be forced isolation, or it can also represent a bunch of people like snowflakes piling up. And you can handle it. Anyone can handle a flake or 2, but if a whole bunch of flakes pile up and they gather together, the snow can become very heavy. And if it continues over an extended period of time, it can be very challenging. Like I'm from the prairies, so when I'm used to snow in Canada, and in the prairies, the winters can last 3-4 months, sometimes 5 almost. Sometimes it feels like they last forever. And you can have these long stretches of time, particularly January, February, and March, where it's like minus 40 Celsius and the wind is blowing, and that makes it even colder. And you have to plug your cars in into an electrical source so that you can keep the engine warm. Otherwise, it won't start in the morning. And so, you have to do that, and you have to make sure you shovel the driveway so you can get out. And if it's snowing a lot, then, you finally get out of the driveway and you get your car started and you're on these roads and it's been snowing. So it's like treacherous driving. You get to work, it snows all day. You have to come out, scrape your car off, get everything all cleaned up, drive back through the treacherous driving in rush hour with a bunch of other treacherous drivers stressed out. And then you have to, when you get home, you can't get into your driveway. So you have to shovel the driveway so you can park your car in the driveway so you can plug it in and do it all again the next day. So this can be, unless of course you have some event to go to with your children, maybe, or in a sporting event or something, or you're a coach for a team. It's that type of energy, and it can get challenging after a while. And it's after a week or two, and then a month, like you start to really feel it. It adds another level of difficulty to your life. And so that's what this energy is basically reminding me of. Now, for the external forces, you don't have control over the external forces. You don't have control over what other people say or do, or whether they care about you or like you, or any of that kind of energy. But you do have the ability to control your reaction or your response. So you're always better responding rather than reacting to the energy that comes from the external forces. So the external forces, the underlying energy, is the Empress energy. Now, isn't that funny? She just came up she's been coming up a lot in the readings. So I don't know if there's some Empress at the top of the world here, like at the top of the tier, that's causing some sort of external forces to happen. But because the Empress represents all four queens from the minor arcana rolled into one person, this is a very powerful manifester. But it's kind of interesting, she's been showing up in the external forces a lot. In the last reading, she just showed up with the Emperor, and she was the internal forces, and the Emperor was the external forces. Now she's showing up as the external forces. So this sometimes could represent someone that's in reverse energy. Like, I don't know what we'll see what the external forces are. The Empress normally represents, someone who has been through a lot in their life, which this could be representing how your energy after going through whatever this is, that you are now in Empress status, and that you are able to handle the external forces differently. She is the embodiment of all four queens from the minor arcana rolled into one person, and she is planning to grow wheat, this crop. And so the way that the Empress goes about it is she puts plans into place. Am I going to grow wheat, or am I going to grow durum? And which field am I going to grow it in? Which would be the best field? Now I've got to check the soil, make sure that it's amended, if there's any fertilizer needed, that sort of thing. And then I also want to make sure that all the stones and rocks and anything that might damage the seeding equipment and the harvest equipment is cleaned off of there, so that it doesn't damage anything. And then I have to decide, okay, when is the best time to plant this? Get it planted. And then she waves her magic wand after that. She says, I've done everything that I'm going to do to empower this project along. Now I just have to leave this up to nature. And nature does a very good job of growing things. And she's done everything she can to make it a successful crop. And she's known for having bumper crops, so she has confidence that nature will do its thing. She's an organic farmer, so she doesn't spray. So as far as she's concerned, it's done, and that's how she manifests. She doesn't worry about it. She moves on to the next thing. Okay, what do I feel like doing now? She's in the flow. And sometimes she's considered to be pregnant with possibility, and sometimes she could actually represent a pregnancy or being very fertile, and it would be very easy for you to become pregnant at this time or to cause a pregnancy. So just keep that in mind if that's not on your agenda at this time. We do have, this is interesting, we have the Five of Swords coming in. So the Five of Swords represents cutthroat competition. This can be external competition. This person has already taken down 2 people, and he's like, any more? Because I've got 3 more swords here. That's the type of energy. And so this is kind of cutthroat energy, winning at all costs and taking the risks that you need to stand up for yourself and get what it is, that you are working towards. And it's interesting because sometimes this is talking about a lot of outer conflict. Having said that, this can also be talking about 3 versions of yourself and an inner conflict in your mind, in your thoughts. And that could be contributing to this energy. So, this could represent your subconscious mind that is formed when you're a child. And this energy can be, you know, when you're a baby, you think about a newborn baby, everything that a baby learns in the first year, and they absorb their environment like a sponge. And they also, you know, rely on the people that are in charge of their care. And the people that are in charge of their care determine, you know, their thought process, how they approach life, their culture, their religion, their everything, you know, how, about life. And quite often, this is, you know, the vast majority of the input they get. So the subconscious mind is heavily imprinted on us well into our adulthood. When we tend to get stressed out, we tend to rely on the subconscious mind because it's the first one that pops up. But it's really, when you think about it, it's not really that reliable because it's the thought of other people when you were a baby. And you might want to use your conscious mind a little bit more. The unconscious mind can represent this energy of your spiritual nature. And you know, a lot of people will say, they will agree, I'm a human being and I have a soul. But from your soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle to navigate through Earth. And this energy is talking about, you know, if the unconscious mind, if the needs of the spiritual needs of the unconscious mind are being ignored, it will become very loud and argue with the subconscious and the conscious mind. And so the best case scenario is like your conscious mind is what you're conscious of. I just got in a fight with these two people and I kicked their butt. That's the energy. And I will kick your butt if you try and take me on right now too, because I'm determined to win right now. That's the energy that I'm in. And so you have conscious memory of it and you're conscious of the actions. So if the unconscious mind is not getting its needs met, it'll start arguing with the subconscious and the conscious mind. That can sometimes be represented here. If you can get your mind working for you rather than against you through meditation and prayer. And you look at these swords, they're double-edged swords. Like he's actually got two here, but one edge is the logical mind and the other edge is the intuition. And so if you can get your mind working for you through meditation and prayer and teach it to be quiet so you can feel what your heart wants and plug that into your authentic desires, that could be what this is representing now. After going through all of this, you have risen to the Empress energy from the hardship, and you've managed to keep your heart open and heal your heart from whatever happened here in the past. And now you're ready to move forward in that way, going after your authentic desires on this new cycle. Really good energy. Congratulations for, you know, healing that. Now this is in your commitment, partnerships, and spousal energy. So this can be saying that, you know, in the past you could have had a lot of conflict in that energy and you're moving forward. It's taken probably a lot for you to be able to forgive and to, you know, heal your heart. But if you're plugged in now and your mind's plugged into your authentic desires, that's saying you may not be with the person you were with, and there's someone new that God is sending in that is in this energy now of everything that you've learned as well, a better match for you now. And so that outer conflict is going to be, you know, easing off now. I feel that's the energy coming in. And we have this energy here of the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is talking about, you know, this is upper middle class in coin. This is someone who is able to give to charity, and he's learned how to give and take to a pretty good degree compared to before. And this is talking about he's giving some coins to this person, but not to this person, because he's got the scales of justice over this person's head, and they have something in their pocket already. And it's saying, why would I give you my money when you already have what you need to move forward and you're not using it? Use your own assets. I'm going to give to this person and not to you. And sometimes this breadcrumbing energy, this can talk about being isolated by other people and pushed into this energy so that you get breadcrumbed. And quite often you'll see this in certain industries, you know, in the entertainment industry. We're seeing that splashed all over the news, you know, where people get paid very little and other people are making a lot of money off of them. And so that's in your transition, this breadcrumbing energy, I feel, and this conflict is going, you have an opportunity to change that, because you're in a totally different energy now than you were before, now that you've healed your heart. And look at this, we have the Seven of Swords here. Seven of Swords, this is in your higher learning. So you've learned all about this energy. Like, this is a walking contradiction. And you see the two swords here? I feel like that's the two here. And I feel like, you know, because this is in part, this could be represent a business partner, this could represent someone that was your significant other, or someone in, you know, like in your inner circle close to you that you've had, that is part of the reason why you're having this inner conflict and outer conflict. Inner conflict attracts outer conflict and vice versa. Now this is the shift disturber card for me. This individual is a walking contradiction. He's planted these two swords, so he's looking back at the past, I feel, when he was your partner. And remember, any of the characters in tarot, they're archetypes, so they're not gender specific. They're talking about masculine and feminine energy. And so he is, he's looking back at the past, and he's sneaking away with these other 5 swords. Now he's in broad daylight. So, you know, if he's a thief, he's not a thief in the night. This is someone that is, you know, the swords could represent intellectual material. They could represent patents, that type of energy. You know, and this could be someone who's sitting at their desk and you think, oh, they're doing their job, but they're actually maybe involved in some white collar crime, like, you know, counterfeit, identity theft, forgery, documents being paper pusher, you know. And you, how are you going to tell? He's sitting at his desk doing his job, and you're like, man, that's one diligent worker. That employee really puts the hours in, and he's always totally focused on his work. Yes, and he is looking backwards and moving forward. He is not looking where he's going. And if he's being sneaky like this, why is he wearing this bright red cap and bright red boots? You know, like, he's just a walking contradiction. And this energy also, like, look at how he's carrying these swords. Like, who carries swords like that? Like, these are super sharp. He's not looking where he's going. If he trips, like, he could lose his hands. Like, this is very, very dangerous. And if he's that careless and dangerous with his own energy, with his own person, how careful do you think he's going to be with your energy? And this Seven of Swords can also represent the 7-year itch, where you have, because this is, you know, is in the position where it's at, this could be someone that after 7 years, they just, it's a phenomena, statistically, that if people are going to get divorced, the most people that get divorced, believe it or not, are in the first year. And then it's the 7th, between the 7th and 8th year. And they call it the 7-year itch, because that's when a lot of people just, they're done with the relationship. And weirdly enough, this is also a phenomena in real estate, where people went to sell their house or whatever property they have after 7 years. They're just done. They'll walk away from it and leave other people to deal with it, whatever. I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to look after this anymore. And it can also happen in business. So the 7-year itch might have a factor in this reading here. And remember, we were talking about 7 to 14 to 21. So just keep it in mind. And then we have the rowing off to calmer shores energy. So this is talking about, yeah, like having a really overactive mind, really overthinking things. So that's that Gemini energy coming out, you know. And the Sagittarius energy, which Leo energy would be more conducive to, is like, let's go on an adventure. But this is talking about getting out of the rough water. Rough water in tarot represents volatile emotion, chaos in your life, and wanting to move on to calmer waters. And this can represent like wanting to pray and meditate and calm your mind so that you can get to your heart, your authentic heart's desires, and heal something that's happened in your childhood. Because there's something that's going on, and this is communication from your childhood. And, you know, so whatever, you know, this could be this new person coming in now that you're in Empress energy, might be someone that you knew way back then and you haven't seen them for a really long time. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. And they are going to bring in these pentacles and heal this energy. Or you meet this person and then this happens, or after you know, heal, then this happens. But this is talking about healing that inner child. that there's an adult and child here with no baggage, and the conveyor has to dig deep with this pole to push the boat off to get to calmer waters. And you know, this is the mind just racing, and you need to go to your heart and feel what is it that you want in your life, basically. So this is the Six of Swords energy. And this is about a transition happening. This is about you being in your higher learning. You've learned a lot from this individual, but it's probably not someone that you can rely on at all. And this is talking about, again, you notice the two swords here. This can be saying that back whenever, when you were a child, you didn't feel like you could communicate with other people efficiently, and your inner child has some work to do on that. That you know, you're not in the, I'm like thinking this is the energy that you want to be in. Being in, you know, isolation and attracting this energy is really, really challenging. So this is saying about wanting to go off to calmer waters. And funnily enough, this is in your career and reputation. So if this isn't about love, it definitely could be about business for sure. And then we have this energy of the, disappointment in love. So again, here we have a scenario where this could represent, the cups represent love in tarot, and quite often it's romantic love, but it doesn't have to be. It could be love for anyone or anything, and it also could be love of something you love to do or be. So this could represent that you have tried to launch something 3 times and it hasn't been successful. But the universe is saying, launch it one more time. This is something close to your heart that you love, that you've been working on. And it's talking about give it one more go. And this person is like, I've been so disappointed, I don't think I can do it. Or this could be having 3 different relationships in love, and it just never has worked out. And it's, you know, or 3 different partners, or 3, you know, that type of energy. This could represent family members or friends or whatever this is. This can also represent someone that you've given 3 chances to, and they have failed, and they're asking for a 4th chance, and you're saying, no way, 3 strikes, you're out. I'm done. I'm not entertaining this again. And if it's a matter of love, sometimes this can represent an energy of a third-party involvement, causing disappointment in your love life. And so this energy, and because the Empress is here, sometimes this 4th cup can be a cup of love in the form of a baby, but it's not yours, type of energy. Or it's not your spouse's, one or the other. And that energy can be here. And this could be the gossip and slander and the isolation that you're feeling, and the disappointment. But this is in the form of blessing. I feel like you take the cup of love from the universe because your life, if you've done the healing. So this is talking about you have to quiet your mind and take some time for yourself to really heal from this energy so that you can move into this energy. This could also represent the third party, and you might be in this at this time. So I don't know, this Empress has been a little bit sketchy coming in these readings. She's always in the external forces, and I'm wondering, and then we have the Hierophant coming in. So the Hierophant is representing justice coming from the spiritual realm down to the physical. Some sort of judgment has been made in spiritual level, and it's a Hierophant's job to bring it down to earth. This can represent, if you're a religious person, this could represent some authority figure that has had a huge influence in this energy. Whatever church you are, if you're, if it's a guru, if it's a rabbi, if it's a priest, this could represent someone higher up though, like cardinals, bishops, popes, that type of energy. And if you are someone that is more on the spiritual side and you prefer to meditate and pray and connect with God directly, this can be that type of energy. And then also this is being brought down to earth. So this is talking about the legal systems, the court system, that 3D, and the Hierophant does have his right hand in the form of a blessing. So this is saying you do have a blessing coming in. The blessing is taking that cup after healing. Like if you can get to that point, you're going to notice a significant change. If this is good for you and you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. Consider giving it a like and comment. I really appreciate it. It helps build my channel. And also, I'm going to clarify this. Whoops, I'm using the wrong deck. I'm looking at this and I'm trying to, I have a lot of, I can just feel a lot of information coming in. So I'm going to use my Oracle Tales from the Vector. And I started this back in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. And I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. And this is a gallery I have of all the 64 paintings. And this is the gallery. The numbers on here represent the paintings in the order of the gallery, and I will put them in the description box below in the order they appear here. So if you want to check it out, they say a picture paints 1,000 words. It may give you an idea. This painting is actually from that oracle. This is I have 12 paintings that are about the astrological, each of the horoscope signs. And so the magician energy is on this new cycle. So this is saying this is an energetic upgrade. You have infinite potential here. You have the power of, to 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. You have all the tools you need. You just need to learn to use them and which tool to use at which time to be the most efficient on your journey to create a beautiful garden for yourself and make the world a better place. We have the Cancer energy. This is the fourth horoscope sign right before yours. And interestingly enough, there's an energy coming in where on June 9th, there is going to be Venus and Jupiter are going to connect with each other on June 9th for a day in the sign of Cancer. And this, a lot of astrologers are saying, is like the luckiest day of the year. And some are even saying of the decade when it comes to love and money. So keep that in mind. I feel that's why it's showing up. It might be a long time coming, but this could be significant energy. And what better way than to bounce off the blue moon energy and use it as a stepping stone to move into this June 9th energy. So this is like, keeping your thoughts really clear, doing as much healing as you can to take advantage of that energy on June 9th. I will be doing my next readings after this one. Will be to talk about that in the beginning of June readings. So you keep an eye out for that. I just want to point out when horoscope signs come up in my readings here, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about what can we learn from the sign. And this is talking about a lot of moon energy. So it's been coming up a lot. Because when you have 2 full moons in 1 month, like that, it's rare. It only happens every 3 years. That's why they say once in a blue moon. But it's a special energy. It's always been for me. When I look back, I can always see like that's when I had significant changes that were really positive in my life. So I feel why the Cancer energy has come up. It could come up in your own special circumstances here as a person, and you have to use your intuition as to that. The superstar energy is on here, and this is talking about being able to clear that throat chakra energy, being able to speak your truth, being able to be who you are, being your authentic self, way to be. And this is talking about using your insight, and God's behind this energy for you to create your abundance. We have the Empress energy. So this is saying, wait a minute now, this is clarifying. So the Empress is saying that this could be one of the lovers. And now is this one of and this is the new one coming in. I feel that this and the Pentacle energy, if you heal your heart in time to meet them, to attract them, that this could be the person coming in that could really benefit you. And remember, the Empress energy could be male or female in their feminine energy. And then we have jealousy here, which is a karmic space. But it's good to remember you'd rather be better than bitter. Not because, if you're jealous of someone, it's silly. You might be jealous of other people. That's a normal human trait. Oh, they're so beautiful, or they have so much, or they're so talented. I wish I could do that. But it's when you get to the point where you really want to be that person and you start wanting to, you know, their destiny rather than your own, which is, you won't, it's not, that's not a thing. God, you know, is not going to, God has given you your own talents. So you need to work on yourself to be able to get to the point where you are at your best version of you. And then this is talking about a major transition coming in. So this, if you can put your attention right now on you know, making sure that you do your best to heal. Now, this implies forgiveness needs to happen. And when you forgive someone, I just want you to understand, like it doesn't mean that you forgive their actions. And it doesn't mean you want them in their life, them in your life anymore. It just means that you're healing your heart, so you don't have to carry the burden, and you're letting them, you know, handing back their actions to them. That, okay, I see my part in it. I see what I could have done differently. I'm on a new journey now. I want to be in this energy. I want to attract the best I can for myself. And this is talking about being on a good, I feel like this card is actually saying rejection is quite often God's protection. So whatever energy you were in, you know, for some of you, this Empress energy could represent an energy that caused the problem, and now you need to heal that to be able to have the new energy come in. Or you would know, or this is the new energy that, but what's funny about this is it's saying both, because of everything you've done. If you can connect, you know, like to your authentic self and do some healing, then you're going to be on this beautiful journey, and all of this conflict and everything will just melt away because you'll be more in this energy. And it's the hardship that causes it. And quite often rejection is God's protection. So if you've been isolated, it could be for good reason, so that you go inward and heal that heart. And then be in a stronger position. We have, oh, why is this? That we have the devil energy on this. So there's some sort of temptation from external forces. So there could be an Empress energy out there. I said she's been coming up sketchy lately. So let's like look at this from a negative point of view. Someone that is an Empress energy, which is, you know, she's not standing on her own. Like she's not standing in her, on her good side. Let's put it that way. She's been tempted by something. And this energy is talking about that temptation. So you're not going to get the truth from the devil energy. It's temptation, so it's manipulative. So instead what you're going to do is be in a position of where you could decide which direction are you going in here. We want to see what is the energy here. Let's see where. I always cover the devil to see what is this about. And we have a trauma queen, so someone who likes drama in their life, and so then they bring it into others. So this could be representing an energy that brought a lot of drama into your life, and that's why you're suffering from this conflict energy. We have the strength coming in here. This is talking about an energy of having the strength and the courage to face whatever this is, and anything that's happened in your inner you know, and possibly from when you were a young child. And then we have this energy of the Leo, and Leo is talking about whenever you show up for yourself in a reading, it's talking about you building up. This is going in your favor. So no more breadcrumbing, and especially of your, you know, your from yourself to yourself is the energy I'm picking up. There was some sort of abuse of power here. And so that's a karmic space that people can fall into, where we can all fall into the karmic spaces with ease. We have the denial. What I don't know won't hurt me. So this could have been someone that you really care about. And this is talking about from someone you knew from your childhood. And what I don't know won't hurt me. You didn't want to believe that it's true. And now it's kind of like you're going to have to you know, quit denying what's happened and move forward. And then we have the Aries energy, which is about moving forward in a new way. I feel like this is saying, if you've done the healing, you can accept this cup, and now you would be in an Empress energy that attracts the person that is going to benefit you. Perfect. And then we have the Chariot. So this is saying on a spiritual level, that it's happening right away. It's already happened on the spiritual level, and it's moving forward. You're on your path. Get out of my way. I'm on my destined path, and I'm ready. I'm a star. And that's the true energy of the Leo energy. So yeah, really good reading. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities here for you, for sure, Leo. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy the blue moon on the 31st. And remember, that energy is about 3 days before and 3 days after. And I will be back with another reading regarding, I'm going to be talking about that energy of Jupiter and Venus on June 9th. All right, bye for now, Leo.